What's up, guys? Welcome to the Backyard Blitzball League channel. This is the first ever long form video on this channel. Today I'm just going to be explaining the rules. So there are 5 teams in the league. So first I'm going to put them up on the screen right over here. And the 5 teams are the Swamp Donkeys, which is me and Ethan. Y'all get to meet the players when the games come on. Then you have the Destroyers, which is Henry, who is the co-owner of the league, and Bennett. Next, you have the Hammers, which is Ben and Hayden. Next, you have the Banana Splits, which are the fan favorites to win it all, which is Jason and Gray. And then the last team is the Sharks, which has Dayton and LT on the teams. So the teams are very evenly matched. It's looking like the Banana Splits are the easy favorite to win, but yeah, all the teams are close. And yeah, it's going to be a dogfight to see who wins this championship. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is just explaining all the rules back here in the backyard. And I'll tell you how everything works. So some of the rules are a bit different than y'all are used to. Before I start to explain the rules, I cannot lie to y'all. The grass is low-key kind of getting long, so I've kind of been slacking. But I'm going to cut it tomorrow. By the way, the games are probably going to come out sometime this week. We'll definitely play them sometimes this week. I don't know if they're going to be posted sometimes this week because editing might take a while. But after I make the videos, I'll try to edit them as quick as possible. So we'll try to get those videos out as soon as possible. So let's get into the rules. Rule: if y'all watch Como Blitzball or any sort of Blitzball channel, y'all know that in Blitzball, it's different from baseball. Because Blitzball, the balls curve a lot more, so it's harder to control. So first of all, this is our strike zone. But since it's harder to control than regular baseball, it's still 3 strikes. But instead of 4 balls, we do 6 balls as a walk. And also, if it hits you twice, it's a walk. In regular baseball, it's if it hits you, it's a walk. But if it hits you twice, then it's a walk. Next, I'm going to tell you all the field dimensions. First, we have the pitcher's mound right here, which is this dirt spot. And over there, to over there where the strike zone and the net is. So I cannot tell you how far this is because I was going to go measure it, and I have no clue where my tape measure is. So my estimate is about 50 feet. So from right here to over there. Y'all comment down below what y'all think that is. But I honestly have no clue. I do actually know the dimensions of the parts of the field. So all the way over there. Where is this? Where's this sucker? Oh, over there by the net. So over here in left field, this is 90 feet. Next, we have here all the way in center field. If you'll check over there, that is all the way over there where home plate is. And over here at dead center is 115 feet. We have over here in right field, I would show you where home plate is, but there is a big fat shed blocking the way. So y'all will not see where that is, but right field is 110 feet. Those are all the basic rules and field dimensions, but now I'm going to tell you all the rules that make this backyard Blitzball League a little funky. This rule that might sound a little weird, but is a rule. If it hits one of these trees, like that one that I'm pointing to right there, and it would have been over the fence, but it hits the tree, so it blocked it from going over, and it's still a home run. And we have plenty of trees in this backyard, like that one over there, a bunch of other ones. Sorry guys, I had an ant in my arm and I'm allergic to ants, so I kind of had to get that off. But yeah, if it hits one of these trees and it blocks it from going over, it is still a home run. Here at first base, which is the ramp to the shed, it is actually kind of weird because we have 2 people per team. So that means if they want to play over there on that side of the field and you have a pitcher over here, what if the ball's hit to the pitcher and it's going to be a close call? You don't have anybody to throw it to. So we made it to where instead of just throwing, you can still throw it to your person if they're playing first base. But if you still just throw it at the ramp and it hits the brown ramp right there, then it is an out if you hit it before that. So, yeah. This weird rule is, if y'all see that tree right above me there, we are right by home plate. And above that is that tree. So if you hit it so high, so where it hits that tree, if it hits any part of that tree, it is a foul ball. Unless you hit that tree and it still goes over the fence or a tree blocks it from going over. That is the only exception. But you can still, if it hits that tree and it's a foul ball, you can still catch it and it will be an out. Next, another weird rule. So if y'all remember, if y'all watched earlier in the video, I said over there was right field. But we do have some lefties in this league. And if you can't tell, righties over there have way more room to pull the ball than lefties. So we added this rule. Over here, you see that corner of the roof right there, not this corner by the shed, that corner right there where it starts to go straight, that is the foul pole over there. So we made that so lefties can pull the ball, righties can go oppo, and yeah. Another rule about this roof, if it is that side of the corner of the roof and it hits the roof and it rolls over the fence, then it is a ground rule double. Also, another rule is that if a lefty hits a pop-up and it hits the corner of the roof, but it doesn't roll over, or it doesn't go over, but it just like rolls back down, or like gets stuck in the gutter or something, that is an automatic single. Look at the shed, but this time we're not talking about the ramp down there. We're talking about the actual shed. So if you hit a slow pop-up or something and it hits the shed and nobody catches it before it hits the shed, then it's an automatic single. But if you hit a hard line drive that hits the shed, then it is an automatic double. Next, if you hit a pop-up that gets stuck on the shed or hits the shed and then rolls off, then it is an automatic single. Over here by the boat. So if you hit a ball, this is a rare case scenario, this probably will not happen, but if it gets stuck under the boat or in the boat, then it is an automatic triple. This is kind of just last second because I forgot to explain this while I was over by the strike zone at the beginning of the video, but this is pretty obvious. If y'all don't know, I'll still explain it for y'all. If it hits anywhere on this black tarp, it is a strike, but also if it hits anywhere from these corners, from this red rectangle, these red corners, all of that rectangle, that is all a strike. If it hits the legs down there, that is a ball. So, also, if a player tips it and it hits the strike zone, then it is not a strike. I mean, it is not an out. If there's two strikes and a player tips it into the strike zone, it is not an out. They're still hitting because they can't really control that. There's no catcher. We would never know if the catcher would have caught it. So, yeah. Last and final rule is if somehow a game is really close and it goes into extra innings, then since there's two players on the team, they will have to elect one player to pitch and one player to hit. And whichever team has the best result at the plate wins. So say it's Swamp Donkeys versus Destroyers. Say the Destroyers and Henry hit a single, and then the Swamp Donkeys and me hit a double, then the Swamp Donkeys will win because we had the better result. But in extra innings, a strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out all equal the same thing. So they're all outs, and just the better result wins. But also, if it goes into another extra innings, the second extra innings, then they have to swap. Whoever was hitting now has to pitch, and whoever was pitching now has to hit. So hopefully that clears it up for extra innings. But also, for pitching, not one pitcher can pitch the whole game. The secondary pitcher has to at least get one out the whole game. It can be a pop out, a ground out, a strikeout, it can be whatever. They just have to get one out on the game. So y'all might be wondering, why does this guy look so handsome? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, y'all. But y'all might be wondering, why am I still wearing church clothes at 6:45? That is because I felt too lazy to change. Second of all, why is this grass not cut? Because I felt too lazy as well. So in other words, I've been lazy recently, but this grass will be cut tomorrow. Do not worry. Now I'm going to go over every single player in the league, what they do good and what they're not very good at. First, we're going to start off with the Swamp Donkeys. First, I'm going to start off with me. Of course, there's nothing bad. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. So the thing I do good, I'm a pretty well-rounded player, but at the plate, I cannot hit a lefty to save my life. If a lefty's pitching, probably an automatic strikeout. So, yeah. Next, we have the other Swamp Donkey, Ethan. He is a very good home run hitter, hits a bunch of home runs, but the only thing he lacks is consistency at the plate. Like, some games he'll go like 2 for 5, but he'll hit 2 nukes. So he hits a bunch of home runs, just needs a little bit more consistency, but overall, a great hitter. We have the players on the Destroyers. First, we have Henry, who, something he's good at, he is one of the best hitters in the league. He's one of the favorites for Silver Slugger, in my opinion, and almost everybody else's opinion. But one thing he lacks is consistency on the mound. He's not very consistent with throwing strikes, but when he is consistent with throwing strikes, some days he is a good pitcher. But some days he's just not all that consistent. Then we have Bennett. So Bennett, he is a good hitter, great contact hitter, and pretty good strike throw on the mound. The only thing is, his con is that he's usually a wiffle ball player. He plays wiffle ball a lot more than blitzball. Blitzball is going to be somewhat new to him, but I'm sure he'll figure it out just fine. Next team we have is the Hammers. First we have Ben. He is a great hitter, one of the Silver Slugger favorites. But the only thing he lacks is consistency on the mound, kind of like Henry. Struggles to throw strikes. But next we have Hayden, who's also on the Hammers. He is a great power hitter, kind of like Ethan. It's just the only thing he lacks is consistency at the plate. You know, not the most consistent hitter, but when he hits it, just like Ethan, it's usually a bomb. Overall, a great hitter. Next, we have the Banana Splits. First, we have Gray, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Gray is the captain, and Jason's the other person. So Gray, he's a great hitter at the plate. And if you throw that sucker slider, it's gone all day. But the only thing he lacks is pitches on the mound. And baseball, he has a good amount of pitches. But in blitzball, kind of just has the same amount of pitches in baseball. Because in blitzball, usually in blitzball, you're supposed to have more pitches than you do in baseball. But Gray doesn't have that much pitches on the mound. But he is a great hitter. But next we have Jason. Jason, he is a phenomenal hitter at the plate. One of the Silver Slugger favorites as well. So, yeah. But the only thing he lacks is that he cannot hit a drop ball. No offense, Jason, but at one of my friend's birthday parties last year that you were at, well, Hayden's birthday party last year, not gonna lie, dude, you were hitting nukes off of me, and then I started throwing a drop ball, and you couldn't hit it. So he just can't hit a drop ball, but overall, great hitter. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's a great hitter and a great pitcher. And the last and final team we have is the Sharks. First, we have Dayton. So Dayton is a great hitter, hits a bunch of bombs. But the only thing he lacks is pitches on the mound. He only has about like 2 pitches. He just has a fastball, a curveball. So that's the only thing he lacks. He doesn't have much pitches on the mound. But overall, he's a great hitter at the plate. And also LT, probably just like Bennett, going to be one of the best contact hitters and also hits some home runs. He's a great hitter. The only thing he lacks, also like Dayton, just like his teammate, lacks pitches on the mound. Only has a fastball and a curveball and maybe a changeup. But yeah, just lacks pitches on the mound. Last and final rule is that we are going to have a speed limit. Not gonna lie, I made this rule because Jason throws like over 70 and I do not want to be hitting that. But I think everybody knows that, except for Jason. But so yeah, there's a speed limit. It's probably around like 55, 60, probably a little bit closer to 60 than 55. But it's not too fast, but it's not too slow. We just wanted to make it to where there's more balls in play, more home runs this season, so it's more entertaining for you guys to watch. And I feel like it's more entertaining for us to play. So yeah, hopefully we have a great season, and I think the teams are going to be all well-rounded, and yeah, it's going to be a close one. Now, one last rule is, so the big 3 awards, MVP, Cy Young, and Silver Slugger. So if there's a player that is like really good or something they dominate, they cannot win more than one award. So they cannot win MVP and Silver Slugger. They can only win one of those awards. So we can have more awards throughout different players and show the love to everybody else. But right now I'm just going to go over the favorites for each of the big 3 awards, starting off with Cy Young. So the 3 main people who are in the voting for Cy Young, well, favorites for Cy Young, not in the voting. The favorites for Cy Young are your boy, Sean Patrick McAvoy the first, actually. Also, Jason, and then Henry. So those are the 3 main people who are in the lead. Well, not in the lead, but like are the favorites to win Cy Young. For the favorites to win Silver Slugger, we have me, Henry, Jason, Ben, and Dayton. Those are the 5 favorites to win Silver Slugger. It could happen otherwise, but from the people in the league who I've asked, those are the main 5 that I've seen. For MVP, the 3 favorites to win MVP are me, Henry, and Jason. It's going to be a dogfight to see who wins MVP. I mean, all the players are super close. Even from the worst player, who we don't know who will be yet, to the best player, it's all going to be super close. Teams are very even. So, yeah, it's going to be a great season. So, I hope y'all have a blessed day. Make sure to thank the Lord, and I'll see you in the next one.